Oh yes, legends. How is everybody doing? Make sure to destroy the like button. We'll be analyzing the price of Bitcoin getting a little bit of a dip right now, a little bit of a flush because we did have a news event. PPI came higher than expected and we got a little bit of a flush in the market, guys. Make sure to smash up that like button and let's analyze this situation here for the price of Bitcoin. My goodness, are we scared? Is this an opportunity? Let's get the camera on, guys, here because, yeah, this is taking a bit of time right now. I'm having some issues getting into the transition here to the screen, which is not popping out as a window, guys. So bear with me. Here we go. There we go. We got it. Full screen. Yes, here we are. The window was disappeared from the screen and I had to find it, guys. How's everybody doing? Let's analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin because we did hit all-time high on Bitcoin, right? We did manage to hit all-time high, which was finally the take profit zone of the last few weeks, guys. This has been a very long trade. I did not short the market, even though it was kind of attractive to get into a swing failure pattern. And we are going to be analyzing that because of this movement to the upside, guys, okay? The continuation breakout based on this structure, and we talked about this yesterday, was highly unlikely. It's highly likely that we hit all-time high at some point, but getting continuation to the upside and forming a fake out double top swing failure pattern was definitely a possibility, guys, okay? I didn't short it. I actually got stopped out on an XRP trade today, guys, okay? This needs to be talked about because this is public. We cannot lie about this. I got a stop loss, guys. Lost 2K today. What can we say, guys? It's not always green, right? I'm not a huge fan of altcoin trades and I don't risk that much. But this is what we have, guys. This is what we have. We cannot always talk about green numbers, okay? We cannot always talk about green numbers. We need to talk about red numbers as well. We got the flush with the news and I'm always in favor. I did know about this PPI today and I thought, it's probably not going to bring too much volatility. The previous ones didn't bring too much volatility. And damn, this time, this one got a major flush, right? Throughout Bitcoin, altcoins, it did create that big movement down. And I'm always in favor, guys, of stay cautious when there's news. This for me was, it's one of those irresponsibilities that you take news for granted. We're probably not going to get much volatility with the PPI this time. The last couple of ones didn't get too much volatility. And if you have trades open, right, especially longs that are close to your entry, when you have PPI, right, for example, then eventually you are at the risk of getting flushed out. And this is literally what happened. I did provide that setup that I was getting into. And yeah, got a quick flush here on XRP. Stop loss hit, not to worry, okay? Now let's talk about the wins, right? Because, hey, we need to talk about the loss, right? 2K loss right there. Now let's talk about the Bitcoin trade, which was hitting all-time high. And that is the one that we've been waiting for many weeks, guys, which has been taken profit throughout multiple exchanges with over 100K profit right over there from the last few weeks. Obviously, all-time high is to take profit because you can swing failure pattern. Yesterday I had a 50K profit that was not realized and I realized those profits, guys. And there is the risk of the price of Bitcoin coming down to the lows, okay? However, there is still high probability based on this price action that we formed throughout the last couple of days that we do hit new all-time highs again instead of getting a successful breakdown beneath this low. So I'm interested in getting into new longs on Bitcoin, interested in adding to the local positions. I do have a few positions still. I mean, well, this one mainly is just around about 4K in profit. I did take profits on this one as well on 𝗞𝗍𝗄𝗍. And yeah, basically, hold on a minute. Having some issues here on 𝗞𝗍𝗄𝗍. You know, it was the take profit zone. Yesterday on the stream, we left it pretty clear that, you know, if we do get up to all-time high, I am not expecting a blast off, right? Like hitting 126, 130K. It's unlikely, guys, and it all has to do with this structure. Yesterday, we were talking about this pump right over here, which is the strongest one with the highest amount of volume so far in this rally. And we have an issue right over here with this pump, because when you pump with the market, your wave 3, you want to have, you know, a large wave 3 and you want to have a shallow wave 4 to create an impulse, okay? However, we had this rally, okay, all good. Then this correction all the way down here. And yesterday we were leaning on the side of, if this is the end of the correction, right? You know, this is extremely quick in time to be a wave 2. If this is going to be a wave 1, this is a wave 2. And, you know, you blast off, it's very, very shallow. So we left this out of the map and we were starting to speculate on a flat possibility, right? A flat possibility was there, either this or this, right? Because we already hit the flat target here. We got a correction, we got a little bounce. Yesterday, somebody asked, where would you scalp Bitcoin on the lower time frame? Not much to do right over here. We are trying to form a little bit of a swing failure pattern, okay? There is one scenario here that you do form a flat, okay? Right, where you have an ABC flat here. Where we're getting supported at the moment is the point of control, guys. It is aggressive, right? These are aggressive longs. We just got the flush. It's probably going to chop around. The best option, and this is crystal clear, guys, the best option is wait. Come on, Tradingview. Why aren't you loading? Let's go. There we go. My goodness. Point of control is getting the reaction right now. Okay? It's an aggressive long position. I'm not that interested yet in getting into a long here, even though I realize it can bounce, right? It's the point of control. You're sweeping up the lows here for a liquidity grab, and you're looking for that possible ABC flat here. It is without a doubt a possibility. Okay? It is without a doubt a possibility here that you could form this ABC flat right now and start holding. Maybe it gets a little bit of choppiness, double bottom, triple bottom, and then gets the rally. It might rally from here. It is support, legends, okay? It is support. The ABC flat was a scenario mentioned yesterday. The flat possibility was already from the rejection that we had here, because if you do hit the 0.9 Fibonacci, okay, you can already create that flat. When we get Fibonacci from the highs of Monday to the pivot low, the 0.9 Fibonacci was hit, which was, it's a minimum target for a flat. And when you realize that if you're counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extension fifth wave, this is very one wavy. For this to be the end of the wave 2 in this case, speculating on this being a large wave 1 in 5 waves, this a wave 2, and get a blast off to the upside would be extremely rare. You know, this would be too shallow. Very one wavy. You need 3 waves at least, some kind of a corrective wave. So the whole speculation of yesterday is, yeah, I mean, all-time high can be hit, but I'm not expecting a major blast off. Okay, continuation after hitting all-time high has low probability purely based on this structure that we formed, right? And this correction in a one wave. If you take the highs here, you're likely going to reject at some point, which is basically what is happening. And if you ask me the main reason why, is because of this correction, guys. It was very one wavy, very quick, okay, for the price to successfully move to higher levels. And if you form, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 waves, this also has a possibility to be a double zigzag. Okay, if this is not a flat right now and you maintain support in this region, then we go to higher levels. Okay, and there will be a moment that we can detect that it is a flat, guys. Okay, so make sure to stay tuned, because we can jump into a long safely, understanding that this is a flat once we get the next information. So stay tuned, because yeah, this is literally how we can get into a high probability trade in Bitcoin right now. And a lot of people want to catch the falling knife. They want to catch the low. I mean, it's totally fine for you to get into a long position. Okay. If you want to get into this swing failure pattern, you just need to manage risk, put your stop loss beneath the low of the wick, right? Take a bit of room. This can definitely be a flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, expansive fifth wave, flat, point of control, sweep of liquidity beneath this low, get a few stop losses hit, and now start rallying to the upside in the next coming days. Without a doubt, it's a possibility. Okay. However, there is a bearish case scenario. There is a bearish case, which is going to be explained in the next coming minutes. Your best long position is after getting that sign of strength in an impulsive move in a 5 wave on the first leg up. And the correction will be your golden ticket to get into the third wave, 4, 5, right? Then we head up maybe to 128, 130. This is a risky long because there is a bearish case. The bearish case has the potential of not only coming down to the value area low, but even coming, possibly most bearish case coming down to 112K. Continue the range and then head up to all-time high. There is that chance. I'll explain here in detail throughout the stream. But for the moment, this is an aggressive, catch the falling knife. It is support. We could get a bounce, okay? Very, very likely. Anybody that wants to trade this, it is a aggressive falling knife catch, but it is support. Swing failure pattern. It's always an option to get into this trade in a aggressive scalp, okay? You'll take profit, just by default, has to be the value area high, has to be the session VWAP, right? Which is currently trading, slightly above us. It is an aggressive long, guys. Let's see if that VWAP does load here. Having some internet issues. There we go. Yeah, VWAP coming down here. So, I mean, it is an SFP level. You might double bottom as well, or it might get that bounce from here already at the point of control. Value area high and VWAP. Anybody wants to take this aggressive trade, it is aggressive, catching the falling knife. We are at support. We swept the lows for the SFP. A relief rally is very much likely here. Good support, swept the lows, liquidity grab, point of control. A bounce to the VWAP makes sense here, and to the value area high. It is aggressive. It is a bit aggressive. You just need to take the shot as it is support if you want, right? It is an aggressive trade. You do have good support. I prefer to get into a new long or add to the long position as soon as the price, gets a decent rally here, gets a decent 5 wave rally, you know, it doesn't need to go that high, but it gets a nice impulsive move. Big volume in your third wave, right? That's what we want to see. Try and detect an impulse. We need to detect an impulse on the bounce, because if the price has formed an ABC flat and this is the end of your second wave, right? Or your B wave, right? Doesn't matter. This can be an A wave. This is a B wave and this is a C wave. This is a 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, right? And we go to higher levels. We are looking for this wave. We are looking for this wave. Now, the market, to create 1 wave on the higher time frame, is formed by 5 waves. 5 waves is formed in a larger time frame wave, okay? And what you do get and what you want to detect is that first wave up. So you can get in your wave 2 or the trend breakout of the channel, right? And take advantage of this move. This is mainly the advantage that we did take here the last couple of weeks, detecting that this 3 wave looks like it's finished, and we have the chance to take advantage of this wave, understanding that all-time high is likely going to be hit, to see if we can get that 6-figure, at least on my side, trade, okay, throughout the last few weeks, which has finally took the highs. And I didn't hesitate, guys, to take profit here. I had a limit profit taking order anyway, and finally made 100k on this exchange. Not that much on the rest of exchanges, okay, but still very, very good indeed, without a doubt. So yeah, when we do take a look at the other possibilities, guys, bear with me here. Bear with me. It is a risky long, okay? It is a little bit risky with, you know, a bit of a falling knife. It could chop down here. Preferably want to see some kind of exhaustion, double, triple bottoms, right? You want to see some exhaustion here. There's better ways to get into high probability trade, okay? I got caught on an XRP trade because of the news. News came out and we got that flush. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. This is why if you have trades open when news is coming out and they're very close to your entry, you're very likely going to get, you know, flushed out, right? And that was the case for me on XRP. I just got flushed very, very quick. Market structure was bullish. Everything pointed out that XRP, you know, could have had a chance in holding here a higher low and continue the uptrend, but we got the flush from the news. And sometimes this is why we talk about a lot of the times, stay cautious. There is news coming out. It might be a big fat nothing burger. It might create that big volatility. You don't know if it's going to be up or down. And in this case, it was down and I had that trade open. So news, you want to stay away really to have trades open. You know, I just gave a little bit of money back to the market. What can I say? It is what it is. Nothing to worry. Very happy with the Bitcoin big swing longs, okay? And I mainly trade Bitcoin, and I'm more heavy on Bitcoin, realizing that the market is more mature and it's more predictable than the different altcoins, of course. So altcoins, I use a little bit of less risk. Anyway, let's go right away through. Took profit throughout all of the exchanges, guys. All the different exchanges. Also BTCC still, open. There we go. Benjamin Cowan in the background. Took profit at the highs. Okay, all-time high was the target zone for many weeks, guys. Many weeks we've been talking about this. High probability. It was a boring swing long position, but at the end of the day, the projection was very good, understanding that this is a three-wave structure. It is corrective, and we are looking for all-time highs to be taken. And yesterday we got the leg. I thought we were probably not going to hit all-time high yesterday, but we did in the end. And the limit take profits were hit. Okay, understanding that we are unlikely going to get a breakout here, guys. It's unlikely that Bitcoin does successfully break out, and there's two major reasons. The main reason was this correction that was explained yesterday. Very quick, okay? If you do come all the way up here to the high, we are looking for either a flat, or we are looking, which is the bearish case locally, okay, well, on the higher time frame, which is going to be explained right now, that was also explained yesterday, is the larger either WXY, okay, or even an ABC flat. I mean, ABC flat, worst case scenario, is coming all the way down to 112K. Why this? Let's get this out of the way. Why this? Well, if you have a zigzag move to the downside, and now the overall question is in this rally, right? Now this rally that we've had in the last 2 weeks is the main question. Is it a double zigzag, which is what I have here on the chart, where you have a 3-wave move up, corrective structure, and another 3-wave move to the upside, right? When you do take a look at the swing highs and swing lows, there's 7 waves here. And 7 waves to the upside is not good. Is not good. Your best case scenario, if you're looking for an impulsive move in 7 waves, is a flat at the end, where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If this is a flat, perfect. This is your 5th wave right over here, and this is your ABC, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, flat, sweep up lows, good support, change of bullish market structure, get your impulsive move to the upside, okay? If you form a bounce here and it's very 3-wavy and overlappy, then yeah, you're screwed here. When you start taking out the higher low and stuff like that and you get a bounce, high probability that this is going to push down when you detect that 3-wave move, okay? So the bounce is going to be crucial. The bounce is the information that I need to either get into a short or get into a long to take all-time highs again. It will be said with the different story that is coming between today and tomorrow. In between today and tomorrow, I will know exactly how to position myself on Bitcoin for a short or a long. SFP from all-time high, it's always a possible option, especially with yesterday's analysis. This would be too quick, guys, to get continuation up. Yesterday, we couldn't stress it enough. Breaking out from all-time high from this rally successfully, and successfully I mean by a move of $5,000, $10,000, right? Getting up with a decent push up is highly unlikely. We were very much aware of this, explaining yesterday that if we do hit all-time high, I expect a rejection. And the main reason why is because of this pullback. If you would have formed a 3-wave structure here and got a nice, symmetrical, right? Zigzag ABC, you get a little flush here, you hit the 50% Fibonacci, right? And then you start breaking out, or golden pocket. Then I would have said, guys, this looks awesome. This could really push through in a wave 3. But that was not the case. We rallied to all-time high. Yeah, not good. Not good. There's only 2 scenarios that could mainly happen here. One is the flat with the potential of taking out the low, get the sign of strength, or form this large WXY, okay, which is WXY or ABC. If it is going to be a WXY throughout the next coming days, there are 2 main scenarios. You got the zigzag, the double zigzag to form your wave X, 7 waves for a double zigzag. And here there is 2 scenarios. You form a flat, and then we rally, okay, to form your Y wave. You're looking for an ABC flat. That is one scenario, so we would need a lot of information here. Still a lot of information, still many days to complete this scenario. Or we form a triangle. We start, still continuing to move down, and in this area, we form like a triangle-y set scenario in this area, right? Very, very possible. where you just squeeze, you form swing higher lows, swing lower highs, and then you're looking for the blast off to take out the highs eventually and go to higher levels. So we need more information. We need more information here, okay? This is definitely a scenario that could happen on the higher time frames. Anybody that is not aware of this, right? We talk about it many, many times. It does happen, okay? A lot. Let me just quickly take a look at the, the trading patterns to explain. A lot of people don't follow up Elliott wave theory, but it's extremely powerful to, understand where you are in the market to take a heavier decision. And it would be a, zigzag or a flat, okay, inside of your wave W, your movement up in your wave X, that can be any kind of corrective structure, double zigzag, normal zigzag, right? And then your Y wave that has two options if your wave W has been a zigzag, which is a triangle or a flat. So we got two options here, okay? When the market develops throughout the next coming days, it will be very easy to identify, because if we do form two swing lower highs and two swing higher lows, then yeah, this is it, guys, right? This is the moment that we want to be bullish on the correction here to, get positioned, because new all-time highs are going to be hit. All-time highs to be hit again in the next coming days, potentially next week, regardless. And you might think, why? Why are you confident? You are already talking about all-time high throughout the last few weeks. Why again? Why again is highly likely. And it all has to do with this movement to the upside. This movement to the upside has 7 waves. 7 waves. This is a corrective move if you count these 7 waves, or your best case scenario is forming that ABC flat right in this area. So regardless of which one it is, if it is going to be an ABC flat, you start getting some bullish momentum here. That's the moment that we want to analyze very carefully, if it is an impulse or not, and analyze the correction. Or if it is going to be the larger corrective structure in a WXY, which is still bullish, or a flat on the most bearish case scenario, which is actually has the potential in taking out 112K. Now, I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I do not know what's going to happen. My main confidence from the swing long positions were to take out all-time high throughout the last few weeks. That was the main trade that I had throughout different exchanges. It's the main trade. All-time high hit. It's my ultimate take profit zone, especially with this structure that we formed in the last 1 to 2 weeks. I knew that there was low probability that we were going to successfully break out here. So I want to have some limit take profits above all-time high, because I understand that, yeah, if you don't take the profits, the market can come and get those profits off you, right? So, and it all had to do with this movement, guys, from yesterday. As explained, if we get to all-time high, I don't see a successful breakout, because it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense with this structure. Big wave here. That's an expanding 5th wave, if anything. And if you move down quickly, a V shape to break all-time high is, unlikely. And break all-time high successfully, right? So the next trade is going to be quite easy to detect. And it all has to do with this bounce. The next bounce is going to be crucial. And this could take 1 to 2 days to develop, right? You either move up in a 3-wave structure, and then you start seeing weakness. You might hit the last higher low. You break the channel, okay? This is the moment that you detect that this is weak. It's a weak bounce. 3-wave move up, the drop down, got the last higher low. This ain't going nowhere. This ain't going up. It's going down. And eventually, if it is going down, usually your third wave, which is an ABC or a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is going to be the most powerful wave. This is going to be the most powerful wave that there is. And you want to be in that wave, but you need this information. Eventually, it would be a short day trade, small little swing trade. Because regardless, all of this is bullish and we are looking for new all-time high. All of this is corrective. Now, on the higher time frame, we need to take a look at the higher time frame. So the strategy here is going to be relatively simple here. You move up, bang, 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 bang. It gets a pretty decent leg to the upside. Any type of correction here coming down to the 50% to the 7/8 Fibonacci is going to be the golden ticket to take advantage of your very likely third wave, right? So we need that. This is the sign of strength, right? You need that sign of strength to prove that this is an ABC flat. Okay, so it's going to be, I think it's going to be relatively easy to detect this. It will be relatively easy to jump in once we detect that rally. For all of those scalpers, you had the swing failure pattern here, right? All of those people that want to aggressively scalp, we are hitting that point of control. Okay, you do have the bullish case scenario, which is this one, and forming a flat. We'll just leave that over here as a possible scenario. We just change that color into red and we put it into minor like this. We put it into the folder. Whoops, that was not it. There we go. So yeah, that's the overall question right now over here. Let's see if we are hitting the 1.618 extension on the A wave and the B wave. Look at this. Probably just tapped it to perfection. I know 𝗬𝗆𝘆𝗽, if he's here, if 𝗬𝗆𝗆𝘆𝗽's around, he's going to absolutely love this. No, we actually missed it. We actually missed it by a few dollars. 1.618 extension for your expanding flat ABC. We almost scratched it, but we got the point of control and the liquidity grab, SFP. It's an aggressive long entry, okay? I mean, they are. I've loved to trade before swing failure patterns. I used to trade swing failure patterns a lot before, not that much anymore. I just got very chilled in swing trading, and I kind of transitioned. I used to swing trade before many years ago. I got burnt once in a very toxic swing trade. That was back in 2019. Any legit follower will know that. Lost to 20K in 2019, which was a lot of money for me back in the day. And I transitioned into day trading and scalping a lot for many years, which went very, very well. Obviously with the bull run, made a bunch of money, and I kind of got, I just transitioned in the last few months more into chilled swing trading. Just because day trading and scalping is phenomenal for people that want to try and make money, right? If you have a plan, if you know how to trade, to scale up faster, right? But also, if you don't know how to scalp and day trade, it's a quick way to lose money as well if you don't really know what you're doing, right? Because sometimes you can overtrade. And, I've just maintained a couple of swing longs in the last few weeks, guys, and, remaining patient, understanding that we are likely going to go to all-time high, in the next coming weeks, whenever that is. And obviously, taking advantage of this swing, regardless if it was going to take a little bit longer. I mean, but obviously I understand that a lot of people don't have, 100K or 200K or, to get into these trades. A lot of people do trade with 2K or 5K and they want to try and double, triple the account very, very quick. And, you can take very, very bad decisions. It's just very natural, guys. It is very, very natural. People that has $1,000 or, even $5,000 in your account, and you want to, turn it into 10, 20K in a matter of a few weeks. That eventually gets you into that possible death spiral of over trading and not planning your trades, right, very, very well, which is a common mistake in the trading world, right, especially for people that are starting to trade. So sometimes it's just remain patient. We will get a very good high probability trade and just hop in, with 2-3% of capital into that big trade that has higher probability. So the strategy is simple here, guys. The strategy is very, very simple. This is an aggressive catch the falling knife, not gonna lie, right? It is aggressive. You could get that bounce to the value area high and in the session VWAP for all of those scalpers, right? VWAP would be your take profit with value area high, which is around about 120K or so. Very realistic projection after this drop, right? Get a relief rally and try and be part of that relief rally. I do get that. But the safest trade here, without a doubt, to identify if this is the correct count on Bitcoin, it's going to be extremely simple. Get that move up with high volume and a sign of strength in an impulsive move. Get a decent rally here in the next couple of days that looks impulsive and increasing volume, potentially in your wave 3 most commonly. And then that pullback, that wedgie, okay, bull flag is going to be the golden ticket, preferably to 50% 𝗖𝗿𝗆𝗽 Fibonacci, because what comes after this is your third wave, right? Your third wave that can, hit the 1.618 extension, the one that blasts off from all-time high and actually gets up a few $1,000s. And then obviously a 4-5, right? Kind of scenario. We need the first rally. We need that first rally. That first rally is going to tell us if it is bullish or if it is corrective, right? If you start moving up throughout this area, right, between today and tomorrow, and you form that little bouncy 3-wavy structure, and your third wave doesn't, overshoot that first leg up, and you start getting very close to this low, that will be a very, very strong sign that this is a bear flag, right, if you wish, and you're going to get that leg down here. So yeah, this move has to be studied very well between today and tomorrow, and I will let the people know eventually what I'm doing for my next Bitcoin trade. I mean, I've been holding these trades for many weeks now and profits have been taken. So I need to look for my next high probability Bitcoin trade. And that's where that's what we're looking at, guys. The next movement is going to give us all of the information to see if we are going to shoot up or if we are going to shoot down, right? And go to 116, 115, right? And maybe even lower. It has the potential of even coming down to the lows. So yeah, the next bounce is going to give us the confirmation, and I will let know the people in the Telegram Signals channel or in the Legends Pro community. Remember, if you are interested in that, guys, you just need to join the Telegram. It's the first link down below to get that information. To join the Signals channel, you just need to sign up with one of the affiliate links down below and we'll hop you in, okay? Send me a DM, join the community, and we can hop you in. So I let you know what is my next Bitcoin trade, because this Bitcoin trade has been very boring, guys. Swing trading is boring. It's just get in and remain patient. Anything that happens here is just a bunch of noise, likely going to be corrective. We're looking for the highs to be taken. It's remaining patient, understanding that this is corrective. Regardless if you still continue a complex WXY or whatever, it's totally fine, right? You're looking for the target to be hit which is all-time high. I did take some profits with this move just because we already, hit the possibility, it was possible for a WXY to continue here. And I was, I'm going to take profit, then I'll add to the position if needed, depending on what happens. And then we just got the shoot up here to hit the all-time high, which eventually taken more than 90% of the profits from that swing long eventually, right? All-time high was the target, and it has been hit. With the information that we have, all-time high is next still, right? All-time high has been hit. So what comes next? Well, on the higher time frame, all-time high comes next again. All-time high comes next again, because we have either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A, B, C flat. Get a sign of strength here on the bounce in a 5-wave structure. We're looking for that breakout, or we form a sideways WXY or an ABC flat. There is no bearish strong case scenario that breaks down below $12,000 successfully with this rally. With this rally hitting the highs, I'm sorry to say with confidence, there is no big major bearish case that you start a major impulsive move down to then get a bounce and continue to the downside. So, that's being pretty confident with the probabilities. Probabilities are still extremely high that this movement to the upside is not, okay, a finished wave. Okay? It's not a finished wave to finish the all-time high. So I'm going to go quickly through the comment section, say hello to the beautiful community. My bad, guys. Okay. Pac-Man, my man, much love. 𝗬𝗆ci, we got Mark 𝗬𝗆ci in the comment section. Absolutely legend here in the comment section. Afternoon from sunny Holland. Hi, Andy 𝗬𝗆ci, much love to you, brother. It's super nice to see you. Always get a smile on my face to see you around the mods of the mods. 𝗬𝗆ci, right over here. He's the mods of the crypto channels. Absolute legend. Thank you very much for joining, my man. I'm going to go quickly through the comment section. Mustaine, hello, Andy. I love you. Very soon I will join your legends group. Mustaine, very good. Much love to you, brother. Let's go for some serious TA opportunity, or do we have to be careful? We're likely going to continue the range regardless if we go to lower prices, but hitting all-time high is the highest probability. And on the higher time frame, that also is what we are going to suggest, right? Based on the analysis. We've been talking about the different possibilities in the last few weeks. My goodness, Tradingview doesn't want to play ball today. It is a little bit laggy. On the higher time frame, I think what has the highest probability at the moment, and I think September is probably going to be bearish, guys. September has usually been the most bearish month since the existence of Bitcoin. And March was pretty red as well, but it was also pretty green. September's been one of the most bearish months for Bitcoin, as you can see, and eventually for crypto, right? If Bitcoin takes the big hit, then altcoins, will definitely likely follow to the downside. So what we're looking at here on the higher time frame, legends, is very likely a contracting diagonal to the upside. Why this is preferred instead of the most bullish case scenario, which is a multiple 1-2, which, I mean, it could happen. We're just going to have to analyze how we break out later on. If we absolutely smash and increase with volume, then higher we go. But I think this has lower probability, and there's a main reason why. When we do take a look at this movement up, it looks like a very three-wavy move. And there is a chance here to count a double zigzag, where you have a zigzag up correction and a zigzag, 7 waves up. This explanation of 7 waves to the upside is the same as this one, but on a lower time frame. And the probabilities are high to take out all-time high regardless of what happens here. You're going to take out the high at some point, right, in the next coming weeks, days, weeks, whatever, right, depending on the structure that is developed here. So same scenario, you know, this is literally the kind of move, but on a lower time frame. A 7-wave structure. Of course, you have the ABC flat that could be the saver. In this case, you could not have an ABC flat because your B wave, you know, went way higher on B wave targets on a flat. Okay, if you have an A wave like here and the B wave crosses the 1.618 extension, then you are forgetting about that. You are forgetting about a B wave flat here. It was not the case when we were analyzing this area for a B wave flat. Okay, you went to the 2-to-1 extension, and you know, you just don't even consider it because it's extremely low probability. So not in this case. In this case, yeah, we just hit round about the 1.2361382 extension, if I'm not mistaken, from that A wave, from that possible A wave. Yeah, just about under the 1.618, right? This is your common area for a flat, 1.2361382 for an expanding flat. Okay, if this is your A wave, the 1.2361382 is your common rejection point for your B wave if we are considering a ABC flat, bottom out, bullish market structure, you know, and then obviously continue the rally. That was not the case in this movement. Okay, that was not the case in this movement to the upside, because yeah, your B wave was too high. However, it's the same theory of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and there is a way of counting 5 waves here. Okay, counting all of this, you got a small little wave 1, you got this potentially being a third wave. There is a way of counting a 5-wave move up here. So yeah, this is a little bit, what is this, an impulse or a double zigzag? Okay, this is the main question in this movement to the upside. But with the information of this leg to the upside, we can give priority that this is a double zigzag, a 7-wave structure. And depending on the information that we have, well, you know, the contracting diagonal does fit in very, very nicely, which eventually is taking out all-time high, but eventually taking a big rejection later on, right? Taking a big pullback. So what we expect here is to, you know, find support, not break down successfully from 112K and get the next leg up. The next leg up will give us all of the information, but ultimately, you know, what we're looking at is another move up here to form that 5th wave in this contracting diagonal is the option. That's my favorite option on the higher time frame, where we do break out from all-time high, get to 130K, possibly, maybe slightly higher, and then get a very, very steep pullback throughout September, very, very likely. Round about that prediction, in my opinion, just because this movement up counts much better as a 3-wave structure, and it's crucial, guys. This is like crucial information that is giving you what could have higher probability, you know, moving up here. So yeah, unless the price, you know, whenever the range finishes here, you blast off. If you blast off here, then eventually we are counting the super bullish move up, right, in a wave 3 in the next coming weeks, right? If we just pump, and we pump $10,000, $15,000 in a matter of a few days, then eventually it's going to be the most bullish case, which is eventually just continue a massive bullish trend, right? And we go to 160, 170, super cycle it is. So that breakout is going to give us all of the information. If we can detect, right, that if we do move up in a 3-wave structure here, and then we get a decent pullback, that's, you know, game over for this move, right? We were very likely going to see a deep correction, maybe going to 100K or even below 100K. So the information given in the next coming, you know, weeks, this is weeks eventually, this is the 4-hourly time frame, it is going to be crucial. The breakout is going to be crucial to analyze. But this would still be bullish. This would still be extremely bullish, because what we have here, and this is the same scenario explained instead of the lower time frame, right? We got 7 waves up here on the lower time frame. You have possibly 7 waves up here. Having 7 waves up means that taking out all-time high is highly likely, because it's a corrective move up. It's not a 5-wave move impulse. If you have 7 waves, you're looking at a double zigzag. Zigzag, correction, zigzag. Okay, WXY double zigzag. And for the moment, since the bear market lows, you do have, I mean, this is why I think the bull run, guys, can be extremely powerful. I am leaning on, there's no signs of weakness just yet. You know, I was very much in favor of not breaking out successfully in, you know, the new all-time highs without getting a decent pullback, right? Just about a week ago, just because of how we moved up here and how we corrected down. But on the higher time frame, it looks extremely bullish still. There is no signs of weakness. We have moved since the bear market lows in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 waves here on the higher time frame. And this means only one thing. We go higher. The question is, you know, how high? Well, it all depends on the local structure. If we form a contracting diagonal in this zone from the last couple of months, you are looking at a 5-wave structure up and a corrective move very likely to develop that can get below 100K. However, from the bear market lows, I mean, this would eventually be bullish. It's a 5-wave structure anyway, but you can finish a bull run with 5 waves. You know, the movement down will be our golden zone to analyze to get into an epic swing long again, to take out highs again. But what I want to explain here is that we have 7 waves. You cannot finish an uptrend in 7 waves. I mean, you can, but you're ultimately looking for all-time high to come again at some point. And it's the same theory as this movement up that we had. Same theory. 7 waves up, double zigzag. I mean, the worst case scenario for this one was actually forming a flat and then moving up. But you're still looking for all-time high to be taken. I mean, we did correct in a 3-wave structure, and then we took the highs anyway. So this is what we have here. And understanding that we cannot finish in 7 waves, well, where are we at, right? How higher can we go? And that's eventually the only thing that applies on this exponential rally, is an expanding 5th wave. It's the only thing that fits here. And an expanding 5th wave eventually, it is common in a hyped up market. If the dollar is crumbling down in all the currencies and everybody's aping into Bitcoin, well, you could get that, you know, extension 5th wave, right? You're going to create that retail institutional FOMO basically, and another $1-2 trillion can pour in the market in the next coming months for Bitcoin, which will create that extension 5th wave. For the moment, everything points out that that is the recipe that we have on the chart. It is the recipe. The chart is telling us the story. And you got that 1, 2, 3, 4, which is long 4th wave, very common. That's what you want to see. And then you have your 5th wave. We were skeptical of the bull run finishing in this zone. This is the zone where I took profit. Purely based on this 5-wave structure, I only sold 10% of Bitcoin between 90K and 100K. I was very vocal about it. I'm saying, guys, I'm going to take profit. We moved up in a 5-wave structure. I don't know if this is the end and if we are going to break down very, aggressively. We've formed 5 waves. 100K has been hit. Very round psychological number. We formed 5 waves up. We've had an epic bull run. I'm in profits. I'm going to, take 10%. I'm selling 10% of my entire Bitcoin. Then realizing on the information that we had in this area, we did manage to catch a few longs here in this zone. I was saying this looks good. This movement down looks good. It looks corrective. I'm not selling any more of my spot bags. It's definitely not. I've only sold 10% for the moment, guys, of my spot bags on Bitcoin, because I do see higher levels coming. So when we do go Ethereum short, let's go. Yeah, Ethereum short, let's go. Ethereum does look interesting for a larger correction. Ethereum does look relatively interesting, guys. Make sure to smash up that like button. I'm not sure how many likes we do have, guys. I'll go through the comment section, but there's just a lot of information. Ethereum short, well, you're getting a pretty decent dead cat bounce on Ethereum. Pretty nice, decent dead cat bounce. Continuing here with Bitcoin, guys. On the higher time frame, guys, it's just so you are confident that the bull run is likely going to continue. Okay, lots of people have questions. I got someone, I can't remember his name right now, is always asking, can you tell us when the bull market is going to end, right? Or where it's close to ending and we get signs of weakness. We are far away from all of that yet. Okay, Bitcoin, we're still looking for a new all-time high based on the rally that we had in the last few days. Altcoins, they're just, a few of them are starting to pop. Lots of them are still in accumulation, like ICP. They haven't even started rallying, some of them yet. So we're still very much in a good stage, guys. We're in a good stage in the bull run. There's no signs of weakness. Anybody that is in doubt, you never know when a black swan event is going to happen. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But I would say that a black swan event, if it were to happen, I think worst case scenario, if it were to happen tomorrow, understanding the structure, I would lean on the side that we're still going to maintain $75,000 as the higher low, right? If it were to happen here, eventually a 20-30% drop on Bitcoin would still be bullish, would still be a swing higher low. I mean, that's just out of speculation, right? It seems silly to talk about that right now. You just never know what could happen tomorrow, right? You could drop dead, right? Hopefully not. Nobody here, right? So everything looks good. Everything still looks good. I really like this scenario. This would be the most bullish one. It would even be more bullish than, actually moving to higher levels from here, because you have more exponential growth if you have a large double 1-2 here. If this is a large double 1-2, then your third wave can absolutely moon. It can absolutely moon. If we end up this contracting diagonal, we correct down throughout September, part of October, then November and December, right? Entering into 2026 potentially, is going to be absolutely insane if you form this double 1-2. And your fifth wave is just going to be exponential. It's just going to be a massive expanding. And that could be all together with, institutional FOMO, dollar crumbling down. I don't know, any event that makes people want to buy Bitcoin as it is going to go to $1 million, right? And people will have that idea and they could FOMO in between 100 and 200K. That's what people, big institutions, big media news, they're going to sell you that Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million, which it eventually will, but not in this cycle, in my opinion. Okay. And eventually that's what's going to catch the interest. Bitcoin to $1 million, which eventually could bring that, exponential fifth wave here, expanding fifth wave, which is still on the first few legs formation. Just an explanation, guys. Higher is likely. We just need to go with the waves. We need to go with the momentum and the breakouts and the movements to the upside, to the downside. Analyze the lower time frame, which is what we do here mainly on the channel, right? Making you understand that still we are looking for all-time high as we formed a 7-wave move to the upside, and a 7-wave move to the upside means either a double zigzag, which is this scenario right over here, and you form, I don't know what we're going to form here, guys. We just need to go with this, we just need to analyze this throughout the next coming days. A flat is possible, a triangle here is possible, or even the worst case scenario, the ABC flat, because in an ABC flat, you have 3 waves in an A wave. The B wave can be whatever. It can be, the double zigzag in this case. And the C wave would be an aggressive, impulsive move down, which is going to get people a little bit in doubt, right? That's what you want to see in a flat. In doubt, it can be a running flat. It can take out the lows below 112K, and then you get the first bullish sign. That's where we are going to go long. All depending on the information that we get in the next coming days, we will know exactly what to do and manage risk, of course, as always, right? So yeah, that's a little bit of Bitcoin, guys. Right now, little bounces on the swing failure pattern, a few hundred, maybe 1,000. Not too interested here. I'm interested in the information here on the bounce, right? This area could hold. It could get choppy. You form like that wedgie structure. Okay. If we go to the lower time frames, yeah. This would have to be an expanding 5th wave. If it is an ABC, this would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and your 5th wave is the one that's got the movement down very aggressively. It will all be said, the story will say in the next couple of days, we move up in a rally like this, and we start correcting, overlapping here. This is going to be insanely bullish if we move up in a 5-wave structure. If we bounce, we form a 3-wave structure and you get down here to almost hit the lows. There's nothing bullish about this movement if you almost come to the lows or even hit the lows. I mean, there is the ABC flat scenario, but we'll be analyzing the different possibilities in this structure to get that leg down eventually at some point. So the next couple of days is crucial to understand the direction, the next direction, okay? And I'm just going to keep it simple, guys. Sometimes you need to simplify the overall direction, and I think everything's going to be more simple with the next move. Just because we have a few scenarios here, which we don't know exactly which one is going to be the case. Either this one, or we continue the range in the next coming days, right? Give or take 1 week or so. Let's go through comment section. There's somebody saying that in a short Ethereum, right? Lots of people interested in shorting. I got somebody yesterday as well. I'm in shorts. Manage risk, guys, when you're uptrending. Many people are interested in shorts, looking for that big pullback, that big correction. Make sure to be aggressive, taking profits. We are in bull market zone, okay? What happened? What happened is that we had news. We had PPI coming out, which is much higher than expected. We had this is why we say stay away when we have big news in the US, guys. Sometimes it doesn't create volatility. Sometimes it does. Last 2 PPIs didn't get too much volatility. And this time, as it was much higher than expected, wow, we got a major flush. We got a major flush, and I was part of the flush, guys. I did get stopped out in an XRP trade, which is, you always want to try and stay away when there's news coming out. You always want to try and stay away. If your entry is literally just very close when the news is going to happen, it's not worth it. most of the times it's not worth it. So this is why we take news, you know, most of the times into consideration a lot. Muy importante. Muy importante. Let's go right away through the comment section, guys. Thank you very much for smashing up that like button. Okay, we got over 800 people watching the stream. Let's go. Let's go, guys. I'm all on the verge of hitting 100k subs. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like the explanations on Bitcoin, the confidence that we have on hitting all-time high. That was the main goal throughout the last few weeks. Okay, understanding that this is corrective, that breaking down from the lows successfully was highly unlikely, and just maintaining strong the opportunities here on the corrections, guys. Okay, which is banking very good profits, very good profits here on this Bitcoin trade, which is, you know, a big trade for me. This is without a doubt a big trade, but swing trades, you know, you want to keep them big, dream big. 100k profit confirmed with that leg to the upside. Guys, if you are interested in trading, Bluffin is an awesome platform, and for the whales there is an insane deal for your fees. You can get VIP 1 if you deposit more than 25k, and you get VIP 2 if you deposit more than 50k. You will get massive discount on your fees. Your fees will be peanuts if you do get one of the VIPs, VIP 2 eventually being the best one. And, you know, you also got, for the smaller fish, eventually 10% cash back up to $3,000, right? You deposit 10k, you're getting $1,000 on top of that, guys, for your trading. Okay, it's not to withdraw, it's to have more capital for your trading. Sign up to Bluffin right away, guys. You have the second link down below, VIP 1 and VIP 2, depending on your deposit, as soon as you sign up, guys. Okay, a lot of people are interested in lower fees, and if you get those big deposits, then you're going to get very low fees on your trades for all of those scalpers, right? Let's go through the comment section, say hello to the rest of the people here. Much love to everybody joining. Let's get to 100k subs, guys. It's happening this month of August. Let's go. Thank you very much for joining. We got a little bit of a flush. Some people asking, why did we get the flush? Well, the PPI did come out. I mean, for Bitcoin, it was very likely that we were not going to successfully break above all-time high based on yesterday's analysis. If we have a 5-wave move up here, if this has to be your wave 4, this is too quick for a wave 4. Very one wavy. You know, we were realizing if we move up to all-time high from here, guys, getting a big breakout, there was just no double 1-2 scenario, right? If you were to break out here successfully, which was low probability based on yesterday's analysis explaining this movement down, you have to look for a multiple 1-2, which would be 1-2, 1-2, and 1-2 here. The thing about multiple 1-2s is that your second, third waves are getting smaller than your first wave. They don't usually get bigger. And in the case of this movement to the upside, the last leg up was much bigger in price action than your first wave 1 and 2. And that is low probability for a multiple 1-2 setup here. Okay, low probability. So with that theory, you understand that breaking out successfully from all-time high, bouncing from this zone is unlikely. It's just an unlikely scenario, and that's what we got today. We got that big rejection, and eventually the news helped with that rejection, right? Much higher PPI coming out, bringing that quick little flush. PPI 0.9, yeah, very higher, very high. Nice flush, time to load up on altcoins. Yeah, absolutely. We can take a look at a few altcoins right away, guys. Thanks for joining the live stream. Okay, we mainly do Bitcoin. We do a bit of altcoins. I'm not the greatest altcoin analyst out there. Okay. I like to identify good spot buys, and I've been talking about, you know, the last few days. Wow, Ethereum, guys. Ethereum getting a massive big bounce, big V-shape, guys. Big V-shape formation. on Ethereum. Somebody was saying my Ethereum short is printing. Well, I hope you did take profit. I'm not sure where you shorted, guys, but you know, mainly in a bull run, you want to take advantage of the flushes, right? Bitcoin's getting that nice little bounce after forming that swing failure pattern. Nice little bounce of over $1,000 currently right now, bouncing at the point of control of this entire range. So the ABC flat is definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility for the ABC flat here. It all depends on how we move up. All depends on how we move up. I would rather join later on the confirmation of sign of strength. Okay, I would rather join later on, because you will form 5 waves later on the next wave. I'll just hop in later after the first sign of strength, which needs to be 5 waves. So yeah, not in a rush. You know, I've been very, very patient with my trade over the last few weeks, and very, very happy with that Bitcoin trade. You know, Bitcoin trade been very, very boring. Remaining swing long till all-time high. It's been very, very boring, guys. But finally, that the swing long idea, just because, you know, this was an epic correction. You know, we're looking for a $10,000 move up here. That did take a few weeks, of course, but it was worth the wait. It was worth the wait. We finally took profits. Anybody that was, you know, following the analysis, the opinion, right, of hitting all-time high, then eventually has made some profits, because all-time high is always a take profit zone. Okay, Suzanne, much love to you. Thanks for joining. Mark Dutch, the legend himself, Pac-Man. Don't re-enter. CME gap not filled yet. Very true. We got that CME gap, guys. I do have the gap here somewhere. CME gap is not filled. It would have to come down to around about $116,000. Top of the gap always provides support. Filling the gap also provides support. And there is big support here, guys, if you do fill the gap. For all of those falling knife degens out there, this is not a bad falling knife long position. Fill the gap, sweep up these higher lows, value area low of this entire range of the last 4 or 5 weeks. And yeah, golden pocket from, well, I'm not sure if it's the golden pocket. I would just blindly saying it's golden pocket. There we go. It is golden pocket. Sometimes you don't even have to pull the fib. You can actually see the 618. Also, golden pocket from the rally, fill the gap, value area low. You know, how much confluence do you want, right, to get supported? Well, without a doubt, that is support. Without a doubt, filling the gap and sweeping up these lows, value area low, golden pocket, right? Anchored VWAP potentially. Let's get the anchored VWAP out. It might be support. Oh, we are at the anchored VWAP right now, actually. Anchored VWAP from the pivot low of the range is what is maintaining support with the point of control and sweeping up the low. The anchored VWAP from the pivot low is providing that reaction bounce. It's an aggressive scalp long, guys. This is it's a quick SFP. Stop beneath the low, get the rally, take the profits. It's a scalp trade. It is an acceptable scalp trade based on confluence. Top of the gap, SFP, point of control, anchored VWAP. There's a lot of confluence here at $118,000. A lot of confluence. Let's go right away and continue with the comment section, guys. Bitcoin has been covered mainly. Pac-Man, my man, what's he saying? My position isn't large enough to fill the gap. I'm not Mark Dutch. Yeah, we're talking about CME gaps, okay? It's CME gaps, all right? We all like to fill the gap, okay? But today we're talking about CME gap, all right? Absolute legends, guys. My moderators, they're just spicy. I love them. They're just great. Pac-Man and 𝗬𝗫cie, much love to you guys. Always bringing those jokes here in the comment section. Okay. Can you take a look at ICP? Absolutely. I fear, man, Ethereum, what's going on? Ethereum V-shape. Who catch the falling knife? There's some people in shorts and with printing profits. You need to take those profits. Who managed to catch the bounce? It's preferably in a strong bullish market. You want to try and get in onto those flushes, guys. We are heavily uptrending throughout Bitcoin and crypto. And, you know, if you get a flush, you want to try and get in, okay? Because we are in a bull market. We cannot deny that. You know, don't be surprised on a V-shapey move, because we are in bull market, right? So I caught it and closed 75% on my short. Okay, there we go. Drum hop. Okay, that's good. I mean, yeah, if you're fast, I mean, if you're taking these scalps, you know, you don't need to be fast. You need to be fast, right? I'm mainly in a swing long. It's just like really chilled way of trading, right? I'm gonna go long, maybe add to the position. I know that we're likely gonna hit this pivot. When you're scalping and day trading, you do have news, you do have local volatility, right? You need to be very quick, very quick, right? And responsible with your risk management. Let's take a look at ICP. ICP. Somebody asked for ICP here. ICP, I bought a few thousand, guys, throughout the last few months, a few thousand ICPs. And I'm quite confident in this one, okay? What I am not confident about is the potential of testing the lows, okay? I'm not sure if we will get the breakout and the range has finished and the low is in. That's what I'm not confident about, but this is why I bought a massive spot bag, because I just see two scenarios here on ICP breaking out from this consolidation at some point in the next, 1 to 2 weeks, possibly, or test the lows. And if we do SFP, we test the lows, I'm going all in. I'll be buying, well, not all in, but I'll be buying a few thousand more ICP here. Without a doubt, guys, without a doubt. And it all has to do with this impulsive move to the upside, corrective structure. It's just primed to hit $20 in the next coming months. The highest probability, it is primed, and we haven't even seen altcoins rallying, right? Yeah, the big ones, XRP, ADA, Ethereum eventually, they're getting the rally, but the high cap coins, Near Protocol, good projects, ICP, Algorand, all of these ones that are good, solid projects in the top 100, they're kind of waiting for the money flow to come in, right? Which eventually, inevitably, will happen at some point in the coming months, right? Into the end of the year. Will it be end of August, October? September is not usually the greatest month. So the problem with ICP here locally is, there's no proper bullish move from the low. And this is why I bought a bunch of spot. Sometimes it's like, if you're going to swing trade and you're ready to add to the position at lower levels, just in case you get the dip to sweep up the low, you need to use low leverage. In this case, with 3x leverage, 4. If you're using 10x, you're going to have a bad time here. You could get liquidated or lose much more than you can afford, right? So ICP, no doubt in my mind that this is an accumulation happening purely based on this structure. And the same applies to Near Protocol, okay? A lot of these high caps, which are the ones that are going to take off next, okay? They are the ones that are going to take the rally next. The problem is the rally, how powerful it's going to be, right? I don't know. we're just gonna have to go with the flow on the rallies. You know, there's no doubt in my mind that the rally is gonna happen. How powerful it is, we need to really detect the ones that we are in for those corrective structures. And if we're correcting, okay, we're good, guys. We go higher. If we get a big impulsive move down, then it's like, uh-oh, not good, guys. I'm getting out, right? So Near Protocol is still in that accumulation scenario after forming this three-wave structure. It's a matter of time that it snaps out here. Same scenario as ICP. And these are the ones, I know your favorite meme coin, right? Or your favorite low cap coin. It's always good to have a low cap coin. But realistically, the high cap coins are the ones that rally next after Ethereum and XRP, Cardano, Solana, right? They're the first ones that usually take the rally, which they are. And then it's the high mid cap ones, right? In the top 100. Near Protocol, Algorand, okay, QNT, you name them, right? There's a few of them that are good projects that have $1 billion market cap or so, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. But what you would be looking at is that transition to the high caps. And you must have seen this from your favorite tuber out there, right? Crypto tuber. The large caps are the ones that take advantage first, right? You're going to see high cap coins having nice rallies, and you know, the ones below the top 100, most of them are not going to be doing much. And it's kind of frustrating for all of those people that are, you know, looking for the big swings. High caps take advantage first, guys. They're the ones that take advantage first after Ethereum, Cardano, XRP. Just so you know, that's how the money flow works in crypto. It's always worked like that. And finally, Umbrella. Yeah, Umbrella. Finally, Umbrella. One of the last ones to pump, very, very likely. Low cap coin. This is like the 50x, 100x bet. I mean, I like it. I do like it where it's bottoming out right now. It lost the lows of the last few years. But this could be a massive accumulation zone where it's at the spring point. This is like the ultimate accumulation. It's a 1 million market cap. This could make a 20x, 30x. You know, it's for me, I have a few $1,000s on this one, right? Just to, for me, it's play money. It's like, it might take the shot and it might bring insane gains. And why not have a little bit in, right? It's just one of those. It's less than 1% of my portfolio, something like 0.6 or something like that. Just worth a shot, guys. It's kind of worth a shot. So ICP, somebody said about Chainlink. Chainlink looks awesome. Chainlink looks very good. We're so close, guys. I think I said to the people that I've had enough with Chainlink, guys. I've been a Chainlink holder for over 6 years now. Bought more Chainlink in this zone than in 2019. I bought more Chainlink here. So bags are heavier. It is in profit. I do see a 1 2 1 2 3. Hopefully it smashes out through $30. If we break $30, and you know, depending on how we move here, depending on how we correct, how we break down or whatever, if it is corrective, then I would say I'm not selling. But my idea is to sell above $30, at least 20% or so, or 30%. I've just had enough, guys. I've been holding this for you know, in a long time, and it's too much money to have on an altcoin. I just can't take it anymore. I know the high probability of taking out $30. I'm ready to take profit. I'm just ready. I don't care about the 10x or all-time high anymore. I just don't care anymore, guys. I'm tired. Chainlink, got time for a bathroom break. Yes. 𝗞𝗚cie, my man. Chainlink, how long have we been talking about Chainlink on the channel? And mainly throughout this zone. I was like, guys, I bought some more Chainlink today. I bought some more Chainlink, buying Chainlink. There's so many live streams here in this zone. And the main question in this area back in 2023 was, are we going to create the spring? Are we going to create the spring, right? Will we take out the lows or not? If we take out the lows, I remember Mark 𝗬𝗫. Man, you should have been holding that swing long position. Mark 𝗬𝗫 here, got into a long position at the $5 level. Mark, do you remember you actually came into a stream? You were long at $5 at the spring point, at the low. And we were analyzing this structure, this accumulation, saying, will we finally get the spring point, looking at Wyckoff accumulation, right? Let me take a look at the trading patterns here, because this is what we focused on when we were forming this range. Will we get the spring point? Will we take out $5 in the big accumulation that we formed on Bitcoin, on Chainlink? Guess what? We got the spring point of the accumulation. It was the low. Once you took out the low of this multi-monthly range, it was the spring point. It was the low. And, you know, I bought thousands of Chainlink in this range. And I remember Mark 𝗬𝗫, it was a funny story. He actually longed the low. This is the kind of swing long that you still should have open, my man. Not that it has done an insane amount of percentage. I mean, but still, if you're using a bit of leverage, eventually, you know, this is up about 300% from that low just about 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago. Anyway, fun story. Yeah, lol. I remember you longing right there, my man, at $5 back in 2023. I have about 400 link. That's awesome. That's pretty good. That's really good. Good amount right there. Muy bien, muy bien. Andy, thanks for the super chat, man. I hope I don't have any other super chats. Andy, 3x mid cap or spot? My aim is 5x this cycle. Andy, 3x mid cap or spot? My aim is 5x this cycle. Yeah. This is the thing, right? We can always take profit and leave a moon bag. Nice bounce on Bitcoin here at the point of control. ABC flat is possible. I will not take all of my profit of Chainlink above $30. It's going to be about 20-30%. I will make this vocal, of course, on live stream and, you know, throughout the community, guys. I'm selling the Bitcoin that we've bought in this range. We had another opportunity here. I did not buy here, but I said anybody that you know wants to accumulate Chainlink based on the analysis, well, this is your zone. And just a few weeks ago, we actually had a little interesting area here. This was corrective price action. There was another option here to buy at the $12-13 range. And you might think, wow, you know, so many years. I mean, it's still up 300% or so, or 250, right? I don't know, about 2-3x. Yeah, around about 3x on average from this zone. I mean, it's still good. It still returns. You're not in a loss. Some people in crypto buy the wrong projects, or they FOMO in, you know, AI projects in a rally. I don't know. For me, it's... I won't be making a 50x gain, but I will be making 5x at least from my portfolio. I can tell you that. At least, right? It's all about staying profitable on your spot bags. Gala is dead, says Suzanne. Well, yeah, Gala, one of the hyped up gaming projects of the last cycle. I'm not sure. This is the thing about cryptos from the previous cycle. I mean, it is at the lows. What can we say? It will pop out with the altcoin season. It will pop out. But yeah, it looks a bit dead. It does. But yeah, I mean, when it doesn't look dead, it's when it pops out. And when it pops out, you know, this is where people get excited and you can buy at the wrong moment. If I were to buy Gala, you know, and I believe in the project for the next coming months, or that it's going to get a rally, I would rather buy here and take the shot for the pump, regardless if it comes back down. But, you know, it's a realistic, quick 2-3x flip. Regardless, you just, you know, if you double your money, take your initial investment out and leave a moon bag, right? Kind of thing. But, you know, when it doesn't look dead, I mean, how many people back in March of 2024 were saying, this is it, right? Hey, we're breaking out from the bear market. Let's go to Valhalla. And yeah, that was not the case here. So people that aped in on the breakout late, the price needs to do a 2-3x so they break even, you know, and that's like that's the main common mistake that happens. If you want to get in, you better get in when it's been trading for months at a floor level, if you want to take the shot, because, you know, that breakout is going to happen. The question is will it pump and dump, or will it pump, correct, and continue the pump? That is the main question. But yeah, the pop out is likely to happen on Gala. It might be not very strong. I have no idea what the project is doing, the fundamentals. It might be very, very bad. But yeah, I want to 5x this cycle, leverage 3x or buy and spot. Okay, yeah, Sujan, you can have a little bit out on leverage. I always say about 10% of your portfolio can be used for, you know, leverage trading. Okay, give or take 15%, 20% would be too much. So if you have $10,000, you know, in your portfolio, you can use 2,000, 2,500, right? 2,000 max, sorry, about 10,000 from 10,000. You don't want to use your entire portfolio for leverage, right? Because you scale up your leverage account. If you have $1 million, then you can use, you know, $150,000 for leverage. If you have, you know, 100,000, use 10, 15,000 for leverage. I mean, it all depends. But I would have a significant amount on spot. You know, my idea always with my trading has always been buy more Bitcoin and maybe buy a few altcoins such as Chainlink and Ethereum with the profits. You always keep it in the spot, especially when you haven't rallied so much. I'm not that interested right now. I'm more interested in gaining a bit of cash with the profits. But, you know, right now I'm not that interested in buying Bitcoin because I'm happy with what I have. I want to have a stack of cash, realizing that shit could hit the fan, guys, with whatever happens worldwide, and that we are in the last stages of the bull run. I'm just happy with what I have on Bitcoin, and I would rather have a little bit of more cash, if I'm honest with you. That's what I have, 10%. Rest is all on spot. Suzanne, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should do that. Don't take leverage trading too serious with big capital, because, you know, you need to be very responsible with leverage trading. Okay, a lot of people don't have that responsibility and they get burnt. They get burnt, guys. Everybody gets burnt at some stage with leverage trading. You're emotional, and I'm going to go heavy in this trade because it's highly probable. I'm going to use more in this one. I'm going with 20%. I'll just add to the position if it's a negative. I'm not using a stop loss. I need to triple, quadruple my portfolio, so I'll just use a little bit of more leverage. And, you know, bad decisions, guys. Smallly and consistently, small little profits, right? And scale up. Try to scale up. There's always a trade opportunity around the corner, tomorrow or next week. But people do have a bad time with that. I had a bad time back in 2019 when I was starting to become profitable. I fucking burnt my account. from profits that I made in 5 months, I was making over 2-3K on average a month trading. And I was like, wow, I'm in the zone. Bang, I'm just going to get into an epic trade and make 100K in the next 1 to 2 months. And yeah, I burnt 20K in less than a week, which back in the day for me was a lot of money in 2019. It burnt 20K in 5 days. It like liquidated, and it took me 5 months to get to actually make 20K with trading. So it was like, oh, just, you know, that feeling of I've thrown 5 months of trading in the bin. Well, that's kind of that feeling, right? It's awful. So risk management, always, guys. Small positions, you know, consistent gains throughout the time. 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽𝗍, my man, much love. Anyone with smelly fingers? Yeah, trying to catch the falling knife. So far, it is getting a little bounce. Ethereum's doing pretty epic with that bounce. Ethereum got a really good relief with that news crash. News little crash, not a very big crash, to be honest, but we did get a little flush with the news. PPI was very high, much higher than expected, and I'm not sure what the stock market did, but I'm sure it did get a nice little flush as well, for sure. Not that powerful. It wasn't that aggressive on the ES. Well, on the 5 minute it was. Just a little flush. V-shaped already, my goodness. Sweeping up the lows after the major rally. How common is this? Major rally, consolidation with higher lows, flush the lows and get the bounce. You know, so common, so common to get this. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Look at this one over here, my goodness. Big fat range after a rally. Big fat range, flush the lows, V-shape. Something that happens so much. Sometimes, you know, catching those SFPs is just going to give you a good, very, very good trade. Anyway, legends, what else? Shit coins. Andy, same thing happened to me. 100K down to 80 after up to 250. It was humbling, but may have been the best experience ever. This is without a doubt the best experience that you can get in your trading career. You need to get humbled, and you need to understand, you know, when you lose, it's just the best thing that you can experience in trading. Because I was devastated for many days. I was like, you know, yeah, I was devastated. And then you know what you do not need to do, right? I don't want to feel that experience again, where I've lost 5 months worth of profits, right? In my case, in 2019, it was $20,000. That was a lot of money for me back then. I was still, you know, just experiencing my trading career, being profitable, okay, starting to get out of the break-even stage. And, you know, I fucked up, guys. You know, it happens to everybody. And you just get into, you think you're going to turn that 20K and 100K in a few weeks. And it was not the case. I lost it. But it's the best experience. Then you know that it's going to be a long game of a few years to start making that money, right? Why not margin isolate? Yeah, also, Joshua, my man, solid live stream. When the 100K followers is happening. It's going to happen this month. We are at 99.728. We are just 280 subscribers away from 100K. It's happening in August, especially with the volatility. Much love to 𝗬𝗫𝗍. Much love to 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽𝗍. Much love, guys. We're just analyzing the price of Bitcoin right now. And the main question is, do we form the ABC? Got an aggressive scalp long for all of those aggressive scalpers, bouncing at the anchored VWAP from the pivot low of the range. The point of control, it's a quick, nasty SFP to jump in. All of those falling knife catchers out there with an SFP. I mean, it's the strategy is clear on how to manage risk here. Your stop loss gets beneath the low. Once you get the recovery above this low, you got anchored VWAP, point of control. The session VWAP could provide resistance at the value area high. We might pump another $1,000. It's a good area to take profit. Be defensive. A double bottom is acceptable as well here. It's good support. It might not break down, so it's another re-entry. And on the higher time frame, we have it pretty clear, okay? We do know what we are looking for when we take a look at Bitcoin. First sign of strength, major bounce in a 5-wave structure. Correction is going to be the golden ticket. Then we'll have a 1, 2, 3, or an A, B, C. It doesn't matter. We're looking for the third wave. And this wave that could happen is going to have some kind of 5 waves up. It's going to form some kind of a 5-wave move up, right? On the higher time frame, a wave has 5 waves or 3 waves. A wave inside on the lower time frame is moved by waves. And we want to detect the first wave. That's what we want to detect. And the correction is going to be the moment that we need to be on the chart, analyzing and take that decision. And if that doesn't happen, we correct up, doesn't look very impulsive, then we look for the leg down and we look for the other scenarios, which is WXY. We might be forming a triangle later on throughout the next coming days, right? We might be forming a flat, or we might be forming that ABC overall larger flat, take out the lows, right? We just need more information on the bounce. Okay, then we can realize what could happen. And that will be said throughout the Legends Pro community by one of the most epic coaches that we have there, which is 𝗬𝗍𝘆𝗽𝗍, who is in the comment section. Shout out to you, 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗽. He is a coach in the Legends Pro community. If you want to get in the Legends Pro community with updates, trading setups, okay, and different possibilities that we can find on the charts and some altcoins, join the Legends Pro, guys. You do have the first link to join the community, and we can give you information to join the Legends Pro or the Signals channel. That's where I'm going to be looking for my next big Bitcoin trade position. Finally locked over $100,000 on this trade that's been going on for a few weeks now, but the wait was worth it. Now I need to look for another trade. So the next trade, I need a bit more information to see what's going on. I prefer longs, realizing that taking out all-time high again is likely going to happen in the coming weeks. And I prefer longs. I prefer getting into longs because I realize that taking out this high and not breaking down here is high probability. So I'll be really analyzing very carefully the next coming days where to jump into another long, realizing that there's high probability in taking out the highs because of this 7-wave structure. It's either a double zigzag or it could be the ABC flat. But we need our first sign of strength here. To analyze what is going on, guys, not much more has to be said on the stream. Remember that for the whales, you do have that epic bonus, guys. VIP 1 if you deposit over 25k, and VIP 2, which your fees are peanuts, guys. If you get to VIP 2, you just need to deposit 50k, okay, and you get that massive fee discount. VIP 2, 10% cashback for the first depositors out there, guys, which is up to $3,000. Okay, you deposit $30,000, you are getting $3,000 on top of that. Take advantage of bluffing, guys. It is the second link down below, and if you do that, you can join the Signals channel, okay, which is the first link down below in the Telegram, guys. Join the Telegram and we'll hop you in the Signals channel. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Much love to Mark Dutch, Pac-Man, 𝗬𝗍𝗍𝗽, and all of the community. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe in this crypto jungle, and I'll see you in the next one.